What's up guys, macadii here. Now today I'm bringing you guys the team building video for week 2 of the GBA D-League, where we're against the San Francisco Arcaniners coached by George, aka SceptileMC. Now this guy is considered a bit of a prodigy in terms of league play and things like that, and a seriously scary team builder, battler and drafter. So it's definitely going to be interesting. I'm currently number 2 in the power rankings, he's number 1. And if I can beat him, then I'm going to be moving up to that number 1 place, which will be really, really good to see. And also sort of give me a better idea of where I place in this league. Because at the minute, I'm not really too sure. So we'll have to see on that. So his draft, though, absolutely like runs miles around my team, whatever the saying is. First of all, he's got the Landorus Eye. Now, Landorus Eye, obviously, banned in standard play and is seriously scary in draft format, because with 4 moves, if I make a very, very defensive team that handles the rest of his draft, that thing just runs circles around me and just completely destroys me. So I'm gonna have to run a little bit more offensively on this one, which is a bit of a shame, but there's not much you can really do about it. He also has I'm gonna run through this. So we've got Milotic, Arcanine and Shaman as a really great fire water grass core, which is going to be really tricky to break if he decides to bring that. He's got Mega Sizzle, which is great for setup, great for support with Defog and that sort of stuff. He's also got Goodra, Hitmonlee, Uxie, Skuntank, Golurk and Zapdos. Zapdos, another great defensive mon and also offensive as well. Golurk's just really great tank. Skuntank is, it's okay, you kind of need that for Defog and stuff like that. Hitmonlee, if you guys have watched my IEP videos, you know the power of Hitmonlee as well. So that's going to be definitely something to watch out for there. But what we do know, one thing that definitely waters down his team, which is really, really nice, is the fact if he wants to bring rocks, he either has to bring rocks on Landorus Eye, the Uxie, or the Golurk. Now, if he brings Uxie and Golurk, I've got the ways to handle it. They're not that threatening, and they have to be a little bit more supportive, or just a big tank, which Hippowdon completely walls, and also I think X-Wing kind of checks as well, and I've got so many things that outspeed, I can just do a huge amount to that Golurk. So that's absolutely fine, and if he brings rocks on Landorus Eye, I really, really hope he does, because that means he's only got 3 coverage moves, and that makes my life so much easier. So, my way of thinking with the Landorus was, say, we'll run through the scenarios. He's only got 4 moves. If he's Rock Polish, that's a move slot gone, he's got 3 moves left. He has to run Focus Blast because of, my Umbreon. If he has to then run Earth Power because that handles Pharaoh and also just hits my draft incredibly well, and he kind of needs some sort of stab, really, really powerful move. And then finally, he has to choose between Psychic and Knockoff. If he decides on Knockoff, X-Wing walls him. If he decides to go for Psychic, then Mirage handles it and checks it. So hopefully, I should be able to handle the Rock Polish set fairly well and be able to KO back, because Mirage is able to OHKO. I'll run through that in a sec. If he runs 4 moves, I'm going to have to be sort of a bit careful and try and do a bit of predictions. It's going to be a bit scary, but I have 3 things that outspeed him, that all of which can do a really good number to him. I will come on to X-Wing as well in a sec, because while it doesn't OHKO, it has a way to beat it, which is really, really nice. And if he's Calm Mindset, I can try and just hit hard enough, and then X-Wing should be able to come in and do a lot. And also the fact he's going to have to get quite a few Calm Minds up for Pharaoh to be able to, for him to be able to take hits from Pharaoh well, and then also Mirage. Like, I can just overpower him. I can just come in with my offensive mons. I might lose 1 or 2 mons, but I can take him out without too much trouble. So, what we've got is, starting off, we've got Motto, which shouldn't be Smooth Rock, it should be Leftovers. Showdown has not saved my options. So we got Leftovers with Sand Force, because I don't want to bring Sand. First of all, in case he's insane and decides to bring Sand Force, but also, I don't really want my team to be whittled down. Like, Sand negatively affects my team a little bit more than it affects his team, which is why I don't really want the Sand. So that's my feeling with that. We've got Ice Fang, Stealth Rock, Slack Off, and Yawn on this. Now, this was a really, really tricky one, because if in an ideal world, I wanted 5 move slots. Because if I run, say, Earthquake and Toxic, which means I can handle the Zapdos and the Uxie and quite a few other things, Landorus Eye comes in for free. Even if he gets Toxic, that's fine. And also Mega Sizzle can come in and Swords Dance and do whatever it wants to do and completely run through me, especially if Pharaoh's gone. So I had to run Yawn on this, just to make sure the Mega Scizor can't set up. I can force out Zapdos and start going for rocks and stuff like that. So I can handle that. And then Ice Fang just hits a lot of his team, because 6 out of the 12 of his mons are weak to ice, which is really, really nice. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Let's see, what else have we got? Ooh, yeah, that was the thoughts of that. I wanted to run, I thought if I ran Fire Fang, the problem is that though, if he runs defensive Mega Scizor, I'm in a spot of bother there, because even though it's 4 times super effective, I'm still not doing enough to be able to reliably 2-hit KO if it's defensive, and he can SD and do all that sort of stuff. And then also, I don't really hit anything else very hard, and Fire Fang, yeah, you guys get the picture. Every single combination has a downside to it, and I think this is the most optimal one, because I hit a lot of things hard. I can't really hit the Arcanine, but Yawn's going to be able to handle that and force that out, and it means I can get my rocks, I can keep them up as well. Next up, we got Pharaoh, the Manectric, which is our Mega Manectric with Volt Switch, Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, and Himpower Ice. I did not want to run Overheat on this, because if I go for Overheat, and even if I kill Mega Scizor with Overheat, or the Shaman, Landorus comes in for free, and it can then set up, and that's absolutely terrifying, because Hidden Power Ice will not kill after the special attack drop as well, even being modest, which is not ideal for me at all. So we've got 144 in HP here, 252 in special attack, and 112 in speed. So once I Mega up, I outspeed his entire draft without any problems at all. And also being modest, I'm going to hit that a little bit harder, which is going to be really, really nice. So Flamethrower is going to have to do it. Still OHKO's specially defensive Mega Scizor, and does a fair amount to the Shaman as well. So that's my plan with that. Next up, we got the X-Wing, the Crobat, with the Papaya Berry. Now, the Payapa Berry. Payapa Berry actually halves the damage taken from super effective Psychic hits, which means I can take a hit from Landorus after Rocks. I can take a hit from Shaman. If it's defensive Shaman, with the spread I've got, I can actually wall that thing. Because Psychic just does just under 50% if I remember rightly, if it's just completely specially defensive. So I can work my way around that fairly easily. Infiltrator means if he gets behind the sub on the Landorus, I can still hit it. And also, 100 attack EVs means that if I can take 50% of the HP off the Landorus, if it's not HP invested, I've got sort of about 65% chance to be able to OHKO with Brave Bird following up from there. With the Shaman, I also have a pretty much guaranteed chance to OHKO offensive Shaman, which is really nice to have as well. Because if it's Scarfed, and he decides to go for the Psychic, thinking he's going to be able to take me out and doesn't mind the momentum loss of me going into Nubis and stuff like that, then I can take the hit and then go for Brave Bird. Crobat may go down then, but that's a big offensive threat out the way, which would be really nice. And I can do a lot to the Goodra, the Hitmonlee, and just a whole lot of things. So this thing's going to be very good. And then Super Fang. Super Fang is going to be the crown glory on this set. I can already tell, because Super Fang means that there is no switch-ins with this Crobat. If he's out into Shaman and wants to go out into, say, his Arcanine to wall this, Super Fang and Rocks means he's down to 37%? Something like that. Yeah, about 37%, something like that. Which is really nice, really excellent, because that means he's going to have to recover up next turn. I can go into my check for that, and you guys can see how it works from there. I can handle and sort of just whittle these things down. If he's offensive Arcanine as well, and I can take an E-Speed, then I might be tempted to do that and just take him out. So that's the plan with that, because I can take 50%, I can just rip 50% of HP off anything that comes in, and that's going to be really nice. Next up, we got Anubis, which is my specially defensive one. I have to bring this because if the Landorus doesn't have Focus Blast, I can handle it. It does, Focus Blast does a lot. It's about 70% or so, which is going to be insane, but he has the chance to miss. He only has 8 PP as well. So if I can Wish Protect around this and PP stall him, I may resort to that. But also, it synergizes well with X-Wing, and it makes him less likely to go for Psychics as well, which is really good. And I can kind of handle Shaman, but not particularly well. It also is my way to handle Goodra, because Foul Play does about 30% to that, and his even Draco Meteors just don't do enough. Like, this thing is just insane in terms of bulk. So that's the plan with that, and just generally sort of use Wish and Protect. I've had a lot of practice with Wish and Protect in the IEP, so I know how to make these offensive Wish passes and all those sorts of stuff, and just generally support some of my walls and things like that. Next up, we got Mirage, which is my general all-round, like, utility hitter, if that makes sense. So I've got coverage to hit pretty much everything super effectively. Himpower Ice hits 6 of the things super effectively. Thunderbolt is for Melodic, and also just hits a few things fairly neutrally, which is nice. Flamethrower, Oko's Mega Sizzle, even specially defensive. And then finally, Psychic's just a really hard-hitting run that really helps me handle Arcanine as well. If it's defensive Arcanine, I do about 55 to 60, something around those sorts of lines. I will have these calcs during the battle, don't worry about that. And we've got 148 in speed, so we outspeed his entire team again. So we got 3 things that outspeed his entire draft, which is really nice. I'm not running a Scarf on this because I think with the defensive synergy he's got, Scarfing isn't going to work. I need to be able to switch up my moves. If he does bring his own Scarfer, I've got the defensive core to be able to handle that as well. So I don't see it being too much of a problem. If it's Scarf Landorus Eye, that's almost better, because with the amount of things I've got that are immune to Earth powers and stuff like that, I can play around him and get around inside his head, I think. So that's the plan with that. We're not running a Scarfer, but we're running 3 very offensive fast things. And then finally, this is the win condition. Brainwash the Slowbro. I can't remember if it's Brainwash or Brainwash. It's fine. I will sort out the nickname. If I do get it wrong, I do apologize. I'm sure. Don't worry. Don't worry, guys. I will. Yeah. It's our Slowbro. It's our Slowbro. With Life Orb and Regenerator. Now, this thing hits like a truck. It Okos 7 to 8. It's between 7 and 8, depending on their spreads. Mons on his draft, which is just absolutely insane, and I don't think he's going to expect me to bring this. I think he's expecting this to be defensive, to handle that Arcanine. So what we've got here, we've got Scald, Ice Beam, and Fire Blast. Fire Blast Oko's both Mega Sizzle and also Offensive Shaman after Rocks as well, so Rocks are going to be really good for this. Scald just neutrally hits so many Mons, it's absolutely brilliant. He really doesn't have too many ways to handle that. The only thing that really rules this is Milotic and the Goodra, but we have answers to both in terms of Anubis. And also, we got 2 great Mons with Electric Stab, which is going to be really good. He's going to have to run physically defensive on that to try and handle my Excadrill, because he may expect me to bring the Excadrill, because he knows I'm pretty desperate to win this match. And Excadrill does a fair amount to his team, so that's what I'm thinking there. But late game, if I can get a Trick Room up, I can potentially sweep. And it's something I don't think he's going to expect. And also with Life Orb and Regenerator, considering Trick Room's only 4 turns of sweeping, that means I can actually come in. If I force a switch and get the Trick Room up, I get a sweeper for free. I can go back out into one of my other Mons and come back out later on and start sweeping again. So it's not too much of a problem. I've got a fair amount of longevity with this guy, which is really, really good to have. So that's the team, guys. Absolutely, probably the best I think I could really reach. Yeah, I think that's probably the best we can do. But we have got potentially two more matches later on along this whole, within this league, which is going to be tricky, considering this is the first time and this is going to be hard. At least I'll get a better idea of what sort of sets he likes to run and that sort of thing. But hopefully this is going to work. There is no shame in losing to the best guy in the league, but I'm not going to let him walk over me. I'm going to put up a big fight and potentially get that win. I think the Slowbro, I think I was probably slightly drunk or something when I fought this Slowbro or something like that, because it's a bit of a silly set, but I think it actually has great potential against this draft and can really turn the tables on them. And so that's the plan with that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the team and you are hyped for tomorrow. It's going to be exciting. I cannot wait. I have not done the match yet, so that's going to be absolutely insane. So I hope you guys enjoyed the team and everything like that, and I will see you guys at the battle. macadii out.